Hi, my name is Llena. I play for Team DGA, and this is my In The Bag for 2021. First off, we're going to start with my putters. I putt with the Steady BL. The Steady BL and the Stone Plastic is one of my favorite putting putters, mainly because it's a nice firm feel in the hand and a clean release when I putt it. I use this putter within 50 feet for spin putts and some push putts whenever I need it. These green ones have been trusty to me all year, and hopefully I'll break some new ones in soon next year. My throwing putter is another Stone BL. This is the new one for 2020 with the little mini stamp on it. These are just point and shoot types of putters. Any line I put it on, hyzer flip and hyzer flat, they just go wherever I put it. And my driving putter is a Glow Steady BL. This one can handle all the torque I have. I throw really hard and a lot of spin, and this one can handle it. Goes really straight and just holds the straight line and fades at the end of the flight. Going into my approach putters, I have a Pro Line breaker. This breaker I use for straight shots, just any type of backhand putter or approach. I use this. It's pretty neutral in the wind, but if it gets a little bit windy, I'll step up to something else. But this thing's pretty trusty for any type of backhand. Oddball disc in my bag is the Zone. The Discraft Zone is the disc I use for any type of forehand shot where the wind is a little up and I can just rip on it into a headwind or any type of crosswind, and I know it's just going to hold straight. These two discs complement each other very well because having these two types of discs makes it really easy to make shot selections, and it makes it easy for me to trust one or the other depending on the shot that I have. Going on to mid-ranges, I carry two molds of mid-ranges in my bag. We'll start with the Quake. So with the Quake, I carry two granite Quakes, one pretty seasoned. This one has been in my bag since they came out, and this thing is beat up to straight, flippy, any type of line you put it on. And I only actually use these in the open fairways. I don't use these in the woods at all, so this is more of my open fairway mid-range. And then I have a brand new one, which I'm going to work to season in, and this one's just dead straight whenever you throw it flat. And then a Pro Line Quake for all the different types of power mid-range shots, anything that wants to end left, and any type of forehand mid-range shot. This thing is very overstable and very reliable in the wind, and I can trust it on any line. Next disc in my bag is my favorite disc, is the Aftershock. The Aftershock is one of my favorite mid-ranges. I like the feel, I like the little micro bead on the bottom of it, and I use this disc for any type of mid-range shot in the woods or just anything under 300 feet. I can just put this on any line and it's going to hold it. This white one is pretty brand new, so it's going to just hold any line, any hyzer flip or any flat line. And this Shasta Shock, shout out to Shasta Chris, this Shasta Shock is beat to any type of line, turnover, flip, hyzer flip to straight, or any hyzer. So this is pretty much your all multi-purpose mid-range for anything you can think of. Going into my fairway drivers, I have two, or maybe let's go with a couple different ones. The first one we have is the Pipeline. The Pipeline is probably a really go-to fairway driver for me. This Pipeline is the SP Pipeline, the sought-after second runs, but this one's getting on the flippy side, so it's in there for the flip to turn or hyzer flip to straight. This one has a cool story, cool ace on it. Aced in the 2018 Llena tournament. This was my first tournament ace. It was just a straight laser beam shot. Hyzer flip just didn't deviate off the line at all. It just went right in the basket on a Mach 3. So shout out to the whole DGA ace right there. And then this year's release, the Matt Bell Pipeline, is kind of in a Tour Series swirl, which is really cool. If you guys see the swirls right there. This one is actually becoming one of my staples in the bag, just having it for a couple weeks. This thing can handle my power and my spin, and I can throw this close to 400, 420 on a frozen rope. This thing just goes and it glides forever, and it always has that predictable fade at the end. So Matt Bell, these were great. So looking forward to throwing these more. The next disc is the Bonsai. The Bonsai is, how you say, the bigger brother to the pipeline. If there's any type of wind and I want to throw a pipeline shot, I'll throw the Bonsai. It has a little micro bead at the bottom, so it keeps it a little bit more stable in the wind, and it's very torque resistant, so I can throw this pretty much as hard as I can, and it's just going to hold any line I put it on. So I can manipulate it just like a pipeline, but it's going to have a harder finish at the end. And then I have my Tsunamis. I have 2 SP Tsunamis in the bag. One of them's domey, and one of them's flat. I use the flat one for all my sidearm shots or any spike hyzers. It's just very comfortable in the hand for all the sidearms. And then the domey one I use for just any backhand shot, 400 feet hyzer that I use, and this thing's just very consistent in the hand, and it feels comfortable for any type of power hyzer. The next disc is the SP line Hellfire. The Hellfire is very overstable. If anything, if there's any type of 20-mile-an-hour winds, 30-mile-an-hour winds, I can throw this disc into it, and I know it's always going to finish left. I also use this for a lot of sidearms and thumbers. So if you need something to just dump out left or right if you're a lefty, try the Hellfire out. The SP plastic is by far one of my favorites, so try it out. Going into distance drivers, I have 3 different molds. I just have the next one I have actually is the DGA Rogue. The Rogue is how I would explain a faster pipeline. I like to use the Rogue for any type of straight fairway shot or straight tunnel shot that I want to push a little bit further in the pipeline, about 400, 420 also, but with a little bit more speed, gets to the ground a little bit faster, and any type of roller. I like to throw these on rollers a lot. They're very controllable when you put them on the ground, and you just know where they're going to go. And I like to throw some flick shots with these also. So these are very good. The SP plastic in these tend to be a little bit more stable, so if you guys are choosing between different plastics, the SP would be a little bit more overstable as opposed to the Pro line, which is pretty straight for me. So on to the Hurricanes. We'll start from the least stable to most stable. The least stable, which is a beat up Pro line Hurricane. I've had this one in the bag for about 2 years. This one is flippy. All this does is go right or turns into any roller. I hyzer flip this to just turn over, long turnovers to the right, or just any type of roller, distance roller. I'll use this one. The next one is a Shasta 2019 Tour Series. This one, I just got this one a couple weeks ago, and we just fished it out of the water while we were practicing. But this one is a nice straight hyzer flip. It just goes straight, maybe a touch of turn at the apex of the flight, and then it just glides out and fades really hard at the end. I like this one. This one feels good in the hand, and I can use this one for my forehands. This is my forehand Hurricane too. The next Hurricane is just a white Pro line. This one's actually pretty stiff. So the stiffness kind of gives me a lot of confidence when I throw it in any type of wind, and I know it's just going to go straight and finish just like a Hurricane should. I can use this one for any 400, 450, 500 foot shots, just straight hyzer or even a nice turn and flex. This is my money Hurricane, this old SP Hurricane, the John Baldwin Hurricane. This one I'll throw for any type of open shot, regardless of wind. If there's any type of wind, I can still trust it in it. It goes, I think I threw this one in the distance contest this year about 690. It was downhill, so not that strong. But this thing's very trusty. I like throwing this for any type of distance shot. So if you get them nice and pop-toppy, nice and firm, these are very reliable. I'm trying to get more of these so Matt Bell doesn't have any more. So I just want these to myself. Sorry, Matt. And my last Hurricane is just kind of a pearly, soapy Hurricane. It's pretty flat, so it's pretty overstable. I got this one from my buddy Bryson James. and he told me that this thing was just a workhorse. You could throw this in any type of wind and it's just going to fly just like a normal hurricane, and you can just trust it into a headwind. And I actually like throwing this on forehands also. I can really torque into a forehand and lean into it and know it's just going to go straight and fade out to the right. And my last disc in the bag is kind of a Tyler Brickley shout out. A Torrent, a Proline Torrent. I use this one for any open bombs. This thing is pretty understable, but I can use this for hyzer flips on tight shots. If I need to make a gap out of into a big fairway, but I need some distance, I'll use this. Hyzer flips, rollers, and just big anhyzers. I throw this disc the furthest, I think. This one on a flat ground, I can get about 500, 550. Maybe not 550. Maybe in a tailwind of 550.
You could.
Internet distance, you know. That's all the discs in my bag. Thanks for watching. I'd like to thank DGA for all the support they've given me over the past 5 years. And thanks for Tyler for coming out to beautiful Georgia to come help me film this. I'd also like to thank Bomb Squad Disc Golf for all the support they've given me. And don't forget to, if you want to try out any of these discs, to go to discgolf.com or check out your local disc golf retailer. Thank you. Don't forget, most fun wins.